Welcome back, everyone. I'm in the Storm Lab here in Take 2, Segment 2 edition of Conklin and Company, and certainly weather's been a big story the last couple of weeks, not only with extreme heat, but the storms we've had and all the power outages that so many people in our area have had to endure. And also, we've gotten ourselves a new meteorologist, and he's really made a name for himself in a very short amount of time. I want to bring him in right now, Justin Ryan.
Good to see you.
Coming to us, morning, day, and night, really, over the last couple of weeks since you started here, right?
24/7, 365. It's kind of like a mail.
Seems like that. It really seems like that.
Never takes a break.
Great to have you. You made a super impression on all the viewers out there.
I'm flattered to hear that, but that's not why I come to work. That's not why we do the job. We do the job to protect the viewers. I couldn't sleep at night if we didn't do our job to the best of our abilities.
Well, and you've been doing just that. Why don't you tell the folks about Justin Ryan? We've had a lot of people ask, who is this new meteorologist? Where did he come from? What's his background? So go ahead.
Well,
kind of a primer on Justin Ryan.
Never really been one to toot my own horn or speak much of myself.
Well, go ahead.
I'll take this brief window here on Conklin and Company. I'm originally from New York, but I don't view myself as a New Yorker. I spent the last 4.5 years in Detroit, so just up the road, I-75. So I'm familiar with the Great Lakes. I love Michigan, I love Ohio, I love the Great Lakes, I love the climate. You can't beat summer in the Great Lakes, with the exception of this summer.
Well, if you like the heat, this is
not
a place
really.
to be.
I love those cool, crisp days and those nice autumn afternoons. You go to the cider mill.
Nothing like fall here.
No,
really nothing
fall
like
in the
fall.
Great Lakes, the cider mills and such. Yeah, and there's ice fishing in the snow. It has a lot to offer. If someone has never been to Ohio, never been to Michigan, it's easy maybe for it to be the butt of a joke or to knock on it. But until you've been here, until you've lived here and lived and breathed with people and sweat and cried with them, you really can't, it's a very misunderstood area. And I love this area, I really do.
Well, we've done a lot of sweating of late.
Oh, we
Justin.
have.
And along with that, I talked about the storms that a lot of people have had to endure and the power outages at the worst possible time when you're talking about triple-digit temperatures. What's the reason for what is the summer of 2012 so far? It's been one to remember already.
Well, we didn't really have much of a winter, and that goes for much of the eastern part of the country. We seem to have missed at least the early thunderstorms. Typically in the Great Lakes region, we'll get our round of severe weather from mid-May to about mid to late June. It just actually seems like it's been a little bit later. If you think back, we had one severe weather outbreak, and that was pretty early. It was in March. Right. We've been quiet most of April, May, and most of June.
Until now.
Yes. So actually, I feel this is quite normal. It's just shifted maybe 3 to 4 weeks later than what we typically see. This is very common in the Great Lakes. We get round after round of thunderstorms, and then it's usually the gateway into summer. Well, the temperatures have been around, and they've been in the 80s, 90s, and now in the triple digits. I just think these storms, they're just arriving 3 to 4 weeks later, which is what is throwing some people off in terms of why are we getting all this kind of weather?
I think the winter and the spring really threw everyone off too, because it just seems like everything's a little bit out of whack. And this is a political show of sorts.
Okay, I think I know where you're going with this.
So a lot of people believe that this is another indication, Justin Ryan, of climate change or global warming.
I'm allowed to have an opinion on this show,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Good.
So,
let's look right in the camera. I think that's bull.
Why?
Bull. The Earth
every
heats.
year, though, it seems to warm up a little bit, right? Every year.
Well, I don't know. I kind of remember shoveling more than I ever shoveled in my life in the winter of 07, 08 and 08, 09. We had near record snowfalls in Michigan and Northwest Ohio. So why would you say we're continuing to warm?
Well, when we talk about the polar ice cap, that it's melting, I mean, the rationale behind that. I mean, so you're just a non-believer in global warming.
I'm not. And my logic on it is the Earth naturally heats and cools. Now, I do feel what the human impact has been over the past 200 to 300 years, the Industrial Revolution and such. What I think we've done is we've sped up the heating and cooling. So instead of waves of every 75 to 100 years, we'll have like mini ice ages and mini warm spells. I think the curves are more extreme, where it's hotter and colder. And instead of being every 75 to 100, it's now every 25 to 30. So greater extremes and over a shorter period of time. That I do agree with, but I don't agree that there is something called global warming. Okay. We've been on this Earth, in the existence of this Earth, which is 4.6, 4.8 billion years. We've been on it just for what you would call a pimple on the fanny. Yeah. That's pretty arrogant and cocky, in my opinion, to think we messed up this planet in such a short amount of time, and it's been here way before us and probably way after us.
You got your opinion. A lot of people have others, and
everyone's right to do so.
Left to debate. There's no
That's
question
right.
about that. Lastly, where are we going in the rest of the summer? We still have 2 months left, and it's been a scorcher already. I mean, your crystal ball long term this summer.
Well, it's going to depend on how much rain we start to get in. We've been now in a pattern where we're starting to see more and more thunderstorms, a good pattern. If we can start to soak and saturate the ground, I think that'll start to take the edge off the temperatures a bit. But if we continue staying at near or drought conditions, this is going to be a long summer, and then we're not really going to have a chance to really start recuperating until September, October. Again, if we stay really dry this summer, that means come autumn, there's going to be a lot of brush fires around here. So definitely don't want to see that.
Yeah, that's not the fall that we look forward to in
No,
Northwest Ohio.
definitely not.
All right, Justin Ryan, thanks.
It's been a pleasure to
You
be
have
on
now
Conklin
arrived.
and Company.
You've
I'm
arrived.
now a
You're
mover and shaker here.
officially on Conklin and Company.
Thank you
We
for having
appreciate
me.
it. All right, we're going to come back in just a minute. Take 3 straight ahead, right here on Conklin and Company.